Oh my, you got a paragraph, okay. I have about 2,200 hours in MK1 and maybe double that in For Honor. I've played fighting games since I was 13 years old, 22 now, and I just feel like I don't get Tekken at all. I just can't seem to find a character that suits my style, and every time I try, I end up back in the predicament I'm in now, which is perpetual character crisis, which sucks because I would really like to get into Tekken, but every time I try, I feel so out of my depth. TLDR, how do you play this game? What it sounds like to me, what is happening to you, is you find a character that you kind of like, and you start playing them, but then eventually you reach a tipping point with that character where you feel like you aren't making any progress, and so you try to start from scratch and think that it's all the character. Either that, or you just fall out of love with the character, and the character isn't all you hoped it to be. If it's the former, if it's the first thing I said, that is something that a lot of Tekken players go through, including myself. Part of the reason I started playing a lot of different characters is because I had that predicament, right? Where I felt like I wasn't making any more progress in terms of like Tekken fundamentals or whatever, like me just being good at Tekken, and thought it was the character's fault. So I changed character. But after playing a certain amount of characters, I came to the conclusion that it is not the character that is holding me back. It is just my own knowledge of the game. And what actually was happening is it's great to play a ton of different characters. It really is, for many reasons that I've stated before. It helps you with matchups. It helps you understand like why certain characters go for certain things. It helps you to play against certain playstyles that certain character archetypes will use, like big hitting counter hit characters, or defensive characters with parries, or rush down pressure characters like Law. There is a problem that comes with that, is that if you play ranked and you're doing this, then what is going to happen is you're going to be constantly playing against the same level of players, and every time you level up to the point you were at before you change character, you're not playing against those players again. You're not playing against that skill level again that you're actually at, so you keep going back to playing against lower skill players. That will always hold you back. You always want to be pushing forward, even if it can be really frustrating. And it is. I'm not going to deny that at all. It is frustrating. That tipping point that I'm talking about before, like where you get to a certain rank and you're playing against a certain level of player, right, which is now your level, my advice would just be carry on with that as long as you can. It can be really frustrating, but if you can get over that hurdle of having to go against like really difficult players and still be okay with it, firstly, it will up your confidence against those players and you won't get in your head as much. And secondly, it will improve your Tekken fundamentals at like a base level. So instead of just like learning from scratch and learning character moves again, you're going to be constantly pushing your Tekken fundamentals the higher you go with one character. If you really want to get good at Tekken, sticking with one character when you get to a certain point is actually really helpful. Not even just sticking to one character, it's sticking to one type of character. I realized very soon after switching to around playing a lot of Mishimas in season 1 that playing the same type of character with the same kind of game plan helps solidify Tekken fundamentals, because you're not having to think about playing a completely different playstyle again. So if I play Kazuya for one session and then I play Heihachi for another session, I'm still using electrics, I'm still using electric keep out, I'm still using forward 2s like demon paws, I'm still doing all of that, right? So the game plan hasn't changed that much, right? There are changes, right? Obviously Reina is nothing like Kazuya with the forward 2 and that, but electrics and fundamentals in terms of execution is relatively the same. So without having to go down that whole rabbit hole of learning a new archetype, it helps me to focus on really fundamental things like, you know, sidestep timing, fuzzy ducking, learning to play against the character rather than learning to play my character, because I've already learnt it. It was very long-winded. I hope that made sense, Saber. From what you told me, that's what I had to go on, right? So there is a lot in Tekken that you need to learn, is really the short of it. There's a lot that you need to learn, and sometimes it can hold you back if you keep changing character. However, I always say that it's always good to learn many new characters, but I think the amount that you're learning, from what it sounds like, when you say a perpetual character crisis, if you don't reach like a certain level of skill with a character and then you change, and you keep changing and you keep changing, you'll stop in your progress with that character. And not just that, you're stopping your progress with the character and your playstyle with that character. And your playstyle in general as a Tekken player. If you keep changing, you're going to have to like rework out your strength as a Tekken player, not just the character. Because if you play against those lower skill players, again in ranked, or it doesn't have to be ranked, it could be anything, and you're concentrating on learning the moves of the character, you're leaving out a lot of room for just learning better Tekken gameplay. Typically play defensively and neutral, fighting on the back foot, fishing for whiffs, overcommits, etc., and then go into full rushdown where I see an opening. Is there any character you recommend for that kind of playstyle? Do you want a whiff Punisher but with full rushdown? Dragunov really comes to mind. Dragunov is very pressure heavy, but he has to like get there first. Dragunov is very good at sidestep down for 2. He's got some tricks in there, and he's got rushdown, but his rushdown moves are slow enough that he can't just, like, if he's defending, he can't just throw them out. Like, if you have your back to the wall with Dragunov, and you're playing Dragunov, and somebody's pressuring you, you're not going to whip out while running 2, are you? But when it's your turn with Dragunovs, you will chip away kind of like a parasite. You know, back 1+2 while running 2, forward 3 for the homing, stop people stepping. You also have down 2 to stop people stepping. You can chip away that way. So that's kind of what you're after, I think. From what you've told me, that's kind of what you're after. Is a character like Dragunov. Fighting on the back foot and fishing for whiffs, and then you go full rushdown. I'd say Dragunov really fits what you're looking for. Or Lee. Lee's actually good because Lee has, if you're fighting on the back foot, right? You can play keep out like this. Shut people down with this. You get people second guessing when you go into this, right? Still very intermediate, nowhere near your end. I got you. Dragunov is who I'm learning now. I'm a Johnny Cage player in MK1. I think they're quite similar fundamentally based on their tools. I don't know anything about MK1 characters, but it does sound like Dragunov might be the character for you, if that's what you like doing. It sounds like you don't play very gimmicky either. You just play, you want to play solid sidestep, launch. Dragunov has parries as well, so you can play defensively with him. He has a throw game. Dragunov is a very solid pick. He's a very strong character, but you have to use your fundamentals to bring out those strengths in him, those qualities. You really do. You know, and then you can use, like the moves I said before. Also, somehow I left out this, which is like unbelievably good, right? Catch somebody with. You can do this now. I don't know what the combo is. Something like this. I don't know what the combo is there, but you get the point, right? Sidestep, down for 2. A bit of execution with his combos. Well, Dragunov's a solid choice. You got mix-ups. Right? You got really good whiff punishers. Dragunov's a solid choice, man. Helps you learn the game on a fundamental level. He's strong. Anyway, you get the idea, right? Hopefully that gives you an idea.